in the course of writing for these shows, I end up doing a lot of research to make them, have the real feeling of the Victorian world. So it has, a genuine impact on the story, and it's not just a coat of paint.
One of my favorite historical tidbits that I've learned while working on these shows is that there was actually a pamphlet published to help ladies learn how to communicate in secret code using the fans that they would carry during balls. Historians don't really know how widespread this language was really in use. It seems maybe more like it was a marketing gimmick, but there's some really fun suggestions. The one that I actually get to make use of on stage is that if you take your fan and touch it to your left ear, it means "I hate you, go away."
So I did not know that there was a certain class of people whose job, for lack of a better term, was basically bumming their way between their rich friends and just being the entertaining guest. That was their job. And the objective of this is basically just to mooch off your friends and be so charming and entertaining for a certain period of time that you are still welcome, and then recognizing when you might be wearing out that welcome and going on to the next rich friend.
Personally, I am a cosplayer, and one of the things I have super enjoyed learning more about and getting to revel in is the fashion and the costumes. There's something very special about Mrs. Chowdhury's dress that we see me in the beginning of Gilded Cages, and there are some new developments in the costuming that I wear that I will be helping with, and I'm very excited to debut in the film.
How completely exhausting it is to have to be on all the time, especially for women, to having to be completely put together, having to have everything be just so, not speak your mind, just have your public facade on 24/7.
I think it was the whole notion of needing to be chaperoned on like a date. If you're I don't know, a person of any sort of breeding, or even if you associate with or say work in the house of somebody from upper society, and the whole hullabaloo over the fact that Mary's boyfriend maybe came to the house and rang the doorbell, and that would be scandalous if it was known that they were like walking out together or what have you. I mean, obviously I knew the Victorians were laced pretty tightly, but I hadn't really thought about that.
Polly Nichols, Annie Chapman, Catherine Eddowes, Elizabeth Stride, Mary Jane Kelly. What I love about that show, because that's part 6, Fallen Women, is that Phoebe said from the very beginning, this is not a Jack the Ripper story. This is a story about Jack the Ripper's victims. And I will never forget those names, and that is who the story should center on, not this nutcase who ran around. These women who were real living women who were his victims, who committed no crime except being women. Polly Nichols, Annie Chapman, Catherine Eddowes, Elizabeth Stride, Mary Jane Kelly. Don't forget.
For ages, mankind has pondered the question, what makes the perfect scone? Well, we might not have the answer to that question, but Team Hawking does like to have a little taste of high tea while we're in production.